All right, shalom, shalom. I'd like to start off first and foremost by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Fakadash. Double honors to our elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well, and peace, love, salutations, and blessings to those that are doing this work in truth and in sincerity. This is your brother Nathan Yala from GMS Camp Atlanta, coming back at you the Spirit with another lesson. And I pray and hope this lesson is edifying. And real quick, let me just pull up this copyright disclaimer from the brother Arrows of Indignation's page, because I'm using some material off the Jimmy Dore show, and this video doesn't get taken down. All right. So it's under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for the purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Okay, nonprofit education. We don't need or for personal use, tips, balances, favor of fair use. Okay, so we done invoke the Fair Use Act, and now this video right here I'm gonna use for another lesson. However, the video that I am using is on the Jimmy Dore show. Okay, now I remember when COVID had first came out, and the the men of the Lord was telling y'all that this was one, it was a psyop. Secondly, it was something designed for population control. Okay, they were tricking you into killing yourself, and most of y'all went out there and y'all took that jump shot. And I also did lessons about how, and I remember these lessons because they took down my page for this very thing that I'm about to say now. They said it was a medical misinformation. They took down my page and all my videos from my other channel. But basically, how the hospitals were getting, the doctors were getting paid to put a person died from COVID on the death certificate, and doctors were getting paid to murder people for the sake of COVID. Now we have here is coming out. This is 6 years later in 2026. It's coming out that this is exactly what they were doing, and you have this nurse, right, who is saying that she participated in this stuff. Okay, she participated in it. And the thing about these people, it's like you participate in this evil. You're a big part of this evil, and you were probably told about this evil, and you participated, and now you want to act like you're just so against it, bro. You were a part of this shit, you know. But anyway, let me start off with a quick precept, and then we're gonna play some of this. I'm gonna speed it up a little bit for the sake of time, because I got to get ready to go to the plantation in a minute. But let me start off with this quick precept. This is Job 13:4. It says, "But ye are forgers of lies, ye are physicians of no value." And that's Esau, his medical system, and all of these jump shots that this devil has. They're just of no value. They're forgers of lies. This whole thing was a lie. What Yahweh Shem Yahshai gave us in our immune system is more than enough to fight off a normal pathogen. Now, of course, are there plagues and scourges that can decimate you? Absolutely. But for something like the coronavirus, which when you go into the medical dictionary, which I went into this too, right? Corona is just a common cold. And it was just a common cold with a fancy name. That's all it was. And it was in their medical books that said it. The Lysol, on the back of the Lysol can, it said that it killed coronavirus, which was the common cold. You see, so most people don't understand what it is that that's really being said to them. So when you get these things said to you, you overreact thinking that it's some grand thing, but it was really just a common goddamn cold, or it could have been a version of the cold that they modified. But nevertheless, it had a 98% mortality rate, which means that you had a 98% chance of living through that shit. But then you got the jump shot, which completely decimated your body, okay, and destroyed you. And now you got all these people now that are dying years later from that shit, and they were dying back then. So now it's being reported that all these things that were happening, but y'all people jumped on it. Okay? Like was it 82% of the American population took at least one form of the corona of a jab jump shot? I believe that's the number. Let's see. Let's look it up real quick. Yeah, it says yeah, it says approximately 77% of the total United States population has received at least one dose of the COVID jump shot. When looking specifically at the adult and older teen demographics, these take up a rates are even higher, with over 95% of the U.S. population over 16 having at least received one dose. You see that crazy shit? But when we was telling you about it, you didn't want to believe us. You didn't want to believe the men of the Lord that was telling you that this shit was poison, that they were trying to kill you. You didn't want to believe it then, huh? But now you want to believe it because people are dying. Okay, they getting the morticians are finding white fibers. Let me see if I can find that on Let me see if I can find that real quick. Then we'll play this. 1 second. Well, here it is, right here. So I'm gonna play this video first. I'm gonna play this video first.
As a funeral director, I'm the one.
Yes.
If they want to paint you as the villain, then pose. Pose.
What the fuck?
If they want.
You see this bullshit? This is the shit that they do when they don't want you to watch something.
I don't
What the
understand
fuck?
why, as a funeral director, I'm the one sort of blowing the whistle. Middle-aged people that were dying not at the normal time of the day, right? So they come home, have dinner, and die. And there'd be family present in their home, average, normal people. So that was a problem because that's new. You can't live with something like that in your body for a length of time. I mean, I was shocked that the people that I was seeing were living with that amount of that material in their circulatory system. I call them white fiber masses. And that's because they're an anomaly that I've never seen before in 27 years as an embalmer and a funeral director. They're solid, so they're not tubular. They are solid right through. They are an exact cast of what the circulatory system looks like inside our bodies. And they often have a current jelly clot incorporated into the tentacles of the white fiber masses. I was seeing that the white fiber masses were getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. There's Australian embalmers, there's British embalmers, and now I'm having Canadian embalmers that I talk to that their experiences have been basically the same. They have the same concerns, and now they're expressing that they're absolutely in fear for their own lives and the lives of their family and friends.
See that? All right. So this is the result of putting that bullshit in your body. Okay. Now let's go back to the Jimmy Dore video. Salaki. Damn sickness came out of nowhere. But now in this video, we have another doctor that's she's talking about the damages that this jump shot was doing while she was actually she was actually witnessing it and administering this shit in a lot of cases, I believe. Now let's go ahead and play this one.
Overton left traditional bedside nursing in 2021 to protest hospital protocols and vaccine mandates, subsequently launching Remnant Concierge Nursing Service to provide holistic care for the vaccine injured. In addition to her advocacy work, she serves as the host of the talk radio show Nurses Out Loud and has been featured in media outlets such as The New American and American Out Loud News. Welcome to the show, Kimberly Overton.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Now, what brought you to my attention is this video. It's a 2-minute video I want to play for everybody so they understand why I wanted to have you on the show, and then we'll talk about it.
My background is in critical care, and I worked throughout the pandemic in the ICU directly caring for COVID patients. After 18 months of chaos, I left the bedside because I could not watch one more of my patients needlessly die due to deadly.
Now look, listen to this shit. It took this woman 18 months of watching this shit happen before she said, I'm leaving. That's 1 year and 6 months of watching people die. Now you want to become an advocate of this shit. You see what I'm saying? Like it took you to see all. That's why I say all these people are fucking devils. All of them are. You know, let's read this. Let's read this Job 13:4 again. It says, "But ye are forgers of lies. You are physicians of no value." Right? 18 months of why not on the first person that died from this shit? Why not on the second person? Okay? How many people died under this woman's watch before she said, you know what? Something is wrong. Any person with any type of normal conscience would have been like, wait a minute. Why are these people dying? Why did 2 people just die? Why did 3 people just die? I need to investigate this. But you went 18 months. You know? And then all of a sudden now you're the vaccine injured and all that shit. It's all bullshit, man. You know, that's why you never trust these people. That's the scriptures say, and we might pull that out. Never trust thine enemy. You never go to these people for any type of care.
Hospital protocols and the denial of life-saving medications. They were telling us that COVID was killing all of our patients, but I contend that this was not the case at all. But instead, it was the complete and total medical mismanagement of COVID that was killing them. If patients were dying of the virus itself, then why were we not pulling bodies from homes and off of the streets en masse? The reality is that patients, they're not dying at home. They're not dying on our streets. They are dying in our hospitals, and it is time that we start asking ourselves why. I walked away, but if there's one thing that still haunts me from my time working at the bedside, it is the faces. The faces of the patients that I knew didn't need to die. I can't get them out of my head. I had never been really comfortable with death. But you quickly begin to understand that death is
Oh, you was comfortable watching those people die for 18 months. Okay? You see, that's what I'm saying. These people are wicked ass people, man. These people are damn devils, man. Okay? All of them. All right? All of them are evil people. Okay? And y'all heard the crux of it. We ain't got to play no more of it. But y'all seen that she was watching these people come. As a matter of fact, let's just play a little bit more. Just a little bit more.
part of life that comes for all of us eventually. And one of the first things I learned in nursing, especially working in the ICU, is that there are fates far worse than death. I considered it an honor to be able to provide compassion in a patient's last moments, to care for them. But this was different. These patients, they didn't die from a disease. They didn't die from a virus. These patients died in a hospital holocaust, and this shamelessly corrupt system used its well-intentioned nurses to carry out their sinister plan. The ventilators, they're the new gas chambers. I walked away, but not before I witnessed numerous alarming signs that these novel vaccines were causing great harm to my patients.
There it is.
So
I walked away, but not before I witnessed this vaccine charge. Let's just listen to it again. I don't want to butcher it.
System used its well-intentioned nurses to carry out their sinister plan. The ventilators, they're the new gas chambers. I walked away, but not before I witnessed numerous alarming signs that these novel vaccines were causing great harm to my patients.
Hold up. So it took you 18 months to realize that shit? A whole year and a half. It took you a whole year and a half to realize that the people that were coming in dying with the jump shot, right? Now, I don't know the exact spot, but she goes on. Let's just listen to a little bit more because she goes on to say how, you know, they were getting paid. The doctors were getting paid. See, it says, like the title says, hospital kills COVID patients on purpose for profits. And I did a video about this, several videos about this back then. You know, but you don't listen to the man of the Lord because we're bums. We're just bums out on the street with tattered garments on, huh? Let me just grab some real quick. See if I can find it real quick. All right. I think this is it right here. So I'm going to bring this out real quick. Okay. This is Ecclesiastes 9 and 16. And it says, 9 and 15, it says, now there was a poor man. Now there was found in. Okay. Let's go up a little bit. This is Ecclesiastes 9 and 14. It says, there was a little city and few men within it. And there came a great king against it and besieged it and built bulwarks against it. Now there was found in it a poor man, and he by his wisdom delivered the city. Yet no man remembered the same poor man. It says, then said I, wisdom is better than strength. Nevertheless, a poor man's wisdom is despised, and his words not heard. So you see these poor men sitting out on the highways and the byways and doing these epistles telling you, but the scriptures say we rich. The scriptures say, I know thy poverty, but thou art rich. So we're really rich. Y'all really the poor ones. Okay? It's just that on this side, we don't have it. But on the other side, we gonna have it. Okay? But you despise our wisdom. But now look at your ass. Now look at all y'all people dying. Jakes and Edomites and everyone alike dying from this jump shot. Okay? Now look at what's happening in the world as you were being warned by the men of the Lord for so long. Okay? To get right with Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Now look at it. Now look at you. See, you despise the men of the Lord and the words that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai gave us to speak to you, to warn you about the things to come and things not to get involved with, like the sea ragamuffin, right? And now look at your ass. Look how many people dying. Look at your children dying. Okay? Look at what's happening with the government and all these different things. Okay? And the economy. And the things that are to come. Okay? But you didn't want to hear the men that were sent by Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai before these things were happening so you could prepare. Now they're all here. There's no preparation. Real soon you're not going to hear from us anymore. Real soon we're not going to be on the highways and the byways. Real soon you're not going to have access to these video epistles anymore. Very soon these things are coming because the real reason why they're going to give you all these other excuses and say we're doing this for security and for this and for that, but the real reason why they're going to shut the internet down is because of us. Okay, they can't make it obvious that we're the real reason why these things are happening. They can't make it obvious, but yes, we're the reason why these things are happening because we're telling you what the Lord's judgment is going to be. What Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is going to be. Okay, so let's listen to a little bit more.
So that's pretty powerful stuff, and I appreciate your courage to speak out. Why do you think more nurses, they had to see this, right?
Right. I mean, it's so hard to understand. I don't know if it's that it's just cognitive dissonance, that they don't want to believe that they could be part of something like that. I think it was a complete and total wake up call for me. I was a very allopathically trained nurse. I always knew that there was corruption in the healthcare system. Sure. I've long known that they have placed profits over patients, but in my wildest dreams, I never imagined that hospital systems or the government would be murdering patients for profit. I have not found a nice way to say that, but that's exactly.
And that's just the point that I wanted to get right there. They're murdering people for profit. There it is right there. And they were, I think back then they were getting $2,500 per person that had COVID on their death certificate. So you had, so I remember when we were doing the research on it back at that time. I remember it was like the COVID death rate was just skyrocketing, but everything else was going down, like heart disease, lung disease, cancer, kidney disease. You know, all of these different diseases that was super high. For some reason, those numbers dropped and COVID just went through the roof, right? Because every single person that had a cough or a sniffle or anything, any type of symptom of COVID, and I remember when I used to go into work, because I was working at Chipotle at the time, when you came into work, they would ask you the question, have you had any diarrhea, vomiting, coughing, fever, upset stomach, anything like that, which is basically could be anything. You could have ate something that could have gave you nausea or diarrhea. Okay? Do you have a cough? Well, anything could have make you cough, right? You could have had a dry throat or something. You know, so these were very vague questions that they would ask you to make you and then you had to come in and get a thermometer pointed at your head. I know a lot of people remember that. Okay, but those were very vague questions. Those were the same questions that they had on their death certificate when they were listing the cause of death. Okay, for these people, and they were listing that they died of COVID if they had any symptom of COVID, even if it wasn't COVID. So these people had an incentive to put your ass to death. You had healthy people going into these hospitals dying, saying they died of COVID. You see? So the hospitals can get paid. And these people were making money hand over fist, murdering people. But then we look like the fools for calling it out. But who are the fools now? Huh? And like I said, this woman watched this stuff for 18 months. I wouldn't have wanted to been involved in it at all. Once I seen the first case of it, I would have been like, oh, hell no, I got to get away from this evil. I remember when I was at work and they was telling you that you had to get the COVID jab in order to work there. I was like, I ain't getting that shit. And then all those people got it, and I still have my job. You see? Because y'all people believe what this system tells y'all. You know? And y'all do what the system tells y'all to do. This is why y'all not none of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shais. All right? This wicked ass shit. The Lord tells you don't put any cutting on the flesh for the dead. You're not supposed to get injected with shit into your body. Okay? And then furthermore, you don't even know what's in it. You don't even know what's in it. Okay? You got this damn devil, right? Telling you to get this jump shot. This man and his system has a long history of murdering us, and you're going to trust him. And the scriptures clearly say, never trust thy enemy. Let's just get that, because I done brought it up a couple times. Ecclesiasticus 12, chapter 12. Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 and verse 10. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like iron rusteth, so that is wickedness. Okay? Iron is going to rust. You cannot get rid of iron and rust. They go hand in hand. Iron is exposed to oxygen, it's going to rust. Esau is alive, he's going to do wickedness. Period. You cannot get rid of it. They go hand in hand. It says, though he humble himself and go crouching, go ahead and take this. This is going to help you. This is going to make you feel better. You're going to have antibodies to fight off the disease, right? Yet take good heed and beware of him. Okay? Why is this stuff such on a massive scale? Why are you making everybody take this shit throughout the world? Nobody had the wherewithal to ask that question. Okay? And it says, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou wiped the looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust had not altogether been wiped away. He can't get rid of the evil. Never trust this man. Okay? It says, set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit by thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last shall remember my words and be pricked wherewith. Because after you lose everything and everything gone, and this man, and you looking up at this man that's taking everything that you have, you gonna feel some kind of way about that shit. Like, damn, I should have listened. It's too late now. And this is doubly this is a like a double entendre for lack of a better term, because it says pricked. Y'all were pricked with that jump shot, and now look at you. Okay, you were pricked. They poked you with that jump shot, man. And now all these people are dying off of it because you trusted your enemy to help you. Like this man is going to help you. And for y'all Edomites out there, y'all don't realize that these people, y'all enemies too. Y'all own are y'all enemies. Okay? It says, who will pity a charmer that is bitten by a serpent? Esau is a serpent. Okay? Or any such as come nigh wild beast. You see? So we told y'all. We told y'all. Okay? And now it's all coming out. But you didn't want to believe us, just like we telling y'all about the MOTB and what it is. We're telling y'all about it. Okay? And y'all not going to believe us until it's already too late. They was right. Yeah, we know we right. Okay? You the one that's wrong because you don't believe in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right? Look at this shit. I'm going to read that again. Approximately 77% of the total U.S. population has received at least one dose of the COVID vaccine. When looking specifically at the adult and older teen demographics, these uptakes rates even higher. Over 95% of the U.S. population over 16 of age having received at least one dose. This is absolutely ridiculous that so many people fell for this nonsense. This shows you how far gone these people are. All right, I'm gonna grab one more precept and go ahead and close it out because I got to get ready for work, Salakia. So I'm gonna go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 13, verse 6. This is what I wanted. This ain't what I wanted. I wrote down the wrong precept. Salakia. Oh, give me 1 second. I got to remember that precept that I had. 1 second, Aki. You know what? I'll just grab this one and then we'll just close out on this. Proverbs 29:2. Proverbs 29:2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And the whole entire earth is in mourning right now because of the wicked people that are ruling. Okay? And we told you that these people were physicians of no value and they did not have your best interest at heart. All right? And now you're reaping the benefit, you're reaping the consequences of these choices that y'all all made when y'all were told not to make these, when y'all were warned. All right? So with that, I'm ended off by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rakakadash. Double honor to the elders and the apostle, great millstone. Until the next time, Akim, I say shalom.